This is The Great Experience by JohnBat426 here on YouTube. It is always a pleasure to record these videos, to edit them, put my unique spin on them. For your pleasure. You. Hey, don't go past the video. I'm talking to you. Watch this video. And if you like the video, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, share the video with other people. Boy, I butchered that one. No one breath challenge today. But if you like comic book related stuff, share it with other people that you know that like comic book related stuff as much as you do. Subscribe to this channel, hit the bell for notifications. Which one? All. Not personalized or whichever one is underneath, but all. So the next time a new video is dropped, you'll know about it second. I'll know about it first, of course, because I'm the one making the video. So I should know about it first, right? Right. Now, I'm a little behind, so let me give you guys a quick update. WrestleMania was here in Philly last week. So I was able to go to the first night of WrestleMania. I was also able to go to the interactive experience at the Pennsylvania Convention Center called WWE World at WrestleMania. It was very exciting. There were superstars there. Arguably the greatest superstar of all time was there. The Rock, the jabroni beating. Him. Yeah. The Rock was there. So I had a great time at both events. So that kind of took up, recording time. Because I was, my buddy from Phoenix, I'm repping the shirt, Mega Ran. Yes. I grew up with him, by the way. He came into town. He said, hey, let's hang out. It's my birthday month, so it was an early birthday gift for me. You know what I mean? So there was that. And then a family member went into the hospital. They were in the hospital for a week. That family member is out of the hospital. Amen. Okay. Then there was a funeral. So there was a lot of life stuff going on. You know what I mean? So hopefully things will settle and get back to normal, or what passes for normal these days. All right. So I can keep giving you that content. I can be up to date. I know that Invincible Season 2 Part 2 has ended, and I have not seen the last 2 episodes. So I still have those 2 episodes to watch, those 2 videos to upload, to edit, to put my unique spin on. And of course, I need to get caught up on X-Men. All right. So I need to catch up on episode 5. Now, you clicked the thumbnail. You know what this video is about. X-Men 97. Season 1, episode 4, called Motendo / Lifedeath. Now, the first half is a 2-part episode. No, that's wrong. It's an episode broken into 2 halves, okay? The first half is called Motendo. Anytime, now, in the X-Men universe, if anything begins with an M-O, it's usually, am I ghosting? It's usually a reference to Mojo, who was from a different universe. He calls it the Mojoverse. And I don't remember who his influence was, but he's supposed to represent like big business, big media. He's a big, huge, like gargantuan individual. Almost like Jabba the Hutt in a way. He has no legs, but he walks around in this big like spider arachnid looking thing. You know what I mean? It has like a tail and everything to it, so it's almost like an arachnid that he's kind of like, he's mobile in. Like I said, he doesn't have legs, but he does have arms and he has an upper torso. So there is a skeletal thing in there somewhere. But they're called like the spineless ones, I believe. But Mojo is a very powerful being. He's almost like an evil Jim Carrey with superpowers, because he's not your typical monster. You understand what I'm saying? Like he's all about ratings. He famously takes beings from his universe, like Longshot, who only has 4 fingers because he's from a different universe. Spiral, and so many others, like the Reavers. And he uses this for sport. He uses it to get ratings on his channels. So he's like an evil media executive. He's like a huge conglomerate. All right, I think he represents a conglomerate and a media conglomerate because he's huge. It's all encapsulated in his size. So this episode features 2 X people. I'm gonna just call them X-Men. Jubilee and Roberto da Costa, also known as Sunspot. Now, it's Jubilee's 18th birthday. Magneto is saying, okay, we're not going to no arcade. We got to practice, because Magneto is all about preparing the X-Men for the upcoming revolution. He's saying that she needs to be trained in order to enforce the will of mutant kind to ensure their survival. So she's disappointed. She goes upstairs. She and Roberto kiss a little bit. They're kind of like making out. I mean, they are. And she notices now Motendo is shaped and looks just like a Super Nintendo. So she's like, who's that? No, who does that belong to? And Roberto's like, So the Motendo activates on its own, and it it sort of infects, like it's like a techno-organic virus in a way, except it's connected to this Motendo. It's connected to Jubilee and Roberto, and I think their bodies are digitally like transcribed into the Motendo, and I think they're sent to the Mojo verse, I believe. But I think they're just in the hard drive of this Motendo, okay? So it's a fun romp. It's like a love letter to video game players, okay? Now, as Roberto and Jubilee are like ducking and dodging all these like obstacles that the video game is throwing at them, it's in arcade form. Like a lot of it looks like Marvel versus Capcom. It's very fun. You understand what I'm saying? So they treat it like a video game. There's another character that comes in. It turns out to be an older version of Jubilee that had been stuck in the game for, I guess, ages, because the character aged digitally somehow. Okay, they're kind of like a cyberpunk outfit. So the older Jubilee is helping younger Jubilee and Roberto, and she treats it like a game. When they're fighting Magneto in the game, okay, she treats it like a boss. So she says, I need to deduct its pattern. Roberto, he's injured and he's dying. His health bar is like all the way down to 0. He begins to like blink, like he's about to fade out. So older Jubilee helps younger Jubilee, and they get Roberto back, and basically they escape the Motendo. And that's basically it. All right. Now, I think the purpose of this episode, again, is to be fun, is also to introduce the whole video game aesthetic. I think it's done very well. And maybe Roberto and Jubilee are going to become closer as the season progresses. Okay, so maybe finally Roberto... I'm sorry, the cars that go up and down this block have the loudest exhaust systems. But anyway, perhaps Roberto will be comfortable enough to use his powers as he's training with the X-Men, and then we'll finally see him go fully black. Okay, because he's called Sunspot, not because he's going to turn into an African American, but he turns black with just this like cosmic energy, and he's a very powerful being. Okay, so that is the end of Motendo. The second half is called Lifedeath. This is dealing with Storm. Okay, remember last time we saw Storm, she'd been depowered by that inhibitor ray that the Executioner was trying to hit Magneto with, but she jumped in the way and sacrificed herself for Magneto, thinking she was taking a bullet for him, which is a serious bullet for a mutant when you don't have your powers anymore. All right. So Storm was befriended by Forge. Now in the comic books, Storm and Forge were a couple. They were an item. So basically, this is just fleshing that out. Like this isn't a strange occurrence. Like this has happened before. Okay. So, but this is the first time we're seeing it in a cartoon. All right. So Forge is brilliant. His mutant power is all mental. Okay, he has a super intellect. His mutant power is the ability to create a machine based on everything he envisions. So if he envisions it, he can create it. And so he's brilliant. So he's trying to create a machine that can give Storm her weather powers back. You can tell their feelings back and forth between Storm and Forge. They go like horseback riding or whatever. And you know the music is playing is very dramatic. There's not a lot of like super duper hero doodah. I just made that word up. Okay. But Forge is basically saying that he was responsible indirectly for creating the inhibitor collars when he worked for the government. Now, if you remember in the first incarnation of X-Men the animated series in Cold Comfort, Bobby Drake Iceman was trying to save Polaris, Lorna Dane. But what he didn't realize was that Lorna Dane joined up with X-Factor, the Havoc, Strong Guy, Wolfsbane. Was Quicksilver a part of that? And Jamie Madrox, the Multiple Man. That incarnation of X-Factor. Okay? And Forge was the government liaison. Okay? So while he was working with them, he created the inhibitor collar. So she's like looking at him like, you monster! You know, sort of, you know, kind of the thing you always expect when you reveal something about your past and the other person's like, oh! You know. So Storm, she trusts Forge, and Forge basically comes out and says, I love you, Aurora. A little early, you know, but I mean, we don't know how long they've been together or whatever. But I mean, if you're living in his cabin, like, come on, Storm. Why would you live in a stranger's cabin and not expect him to have feelings for you? He's like, Storm, you're a goddess. It's very dramatic, okay? And then, I don't remember if it was in Storm's mind or not, but this big owl-looking creature, I think it is, called the Adversary. It attacks Storm, okay? And it is very haunting. It's basically telling Storm, like, I'm here to stay, and this is just the beginning, in so many words. And that's the episode, basically. Motendo / Lifedeath. This is a very good episode. It sort of kind of sidetracks away from the, humans versus mutants. The whole group. Cyclops and Jean, I think, and Magneto, they went to the UN to, talk about stuff. But this one focused on Jubilee and Roberto and Storm and Forge. Okay, and we don't know a lot about Forge. You know what I mean? Like I said, Cold Comfort in the original series and the Phalanx episode in season 5 of the original X-Men the Animated Series. That's where we see Forge again. Okay? But this is another great episode. X-Men 97 is just cooking on all cylinders. Bring back Bo DeMaio. Bring him back. Again, unless he was dismissed for something much more egregious than we've been told. Okay? But if not, bring him back. Please, because he's done a fabulous job, and the team that was working with him. They said that the team that worked with him, they were all in sync. They had the synergy to it, and you can just feel it. Like, whoever, I don't know everybody's name on the team, but you can just tell that they really appreciate X-Men. They really appreciate it. You know what I mean? So, it's great watching this again. I mean, it's not taking me back to my childhood. This is just good X-Men stuff. It's good X-Men fare, good X-Men media. All right, and I'm gonna give this episode a B+ for Motendo / Lifedeath because it's great. It's quality. The dialogue is good. The action is good. The aesthetic, the video game aesthetic in Motendo, it does not discourage me from watching, even though it's geared more probably towards a younger audience, but just as a nod. Because most of us that are watching this resurgence of X-Men animated series, we probably had Super Nintendos. I personally never did. But my generation, that was our game. That was our game system, Super Nintendo. So it's very well done. It's tasteful. It's classy. And that's why it gets a B+. Motendo / Lifedeath. Now, if you've liked my review of this episode, hit that like button, leave a comment, leave a dissertation in the comment section if need be. David Brent, please let them know where those comments or dissertations go, sir. Thank you, Mr. Brent. He's pointing to where they need to go, down there. All right, do your part. I'll do my part. So The Great Expanse by John Bat 426 can and will expand. It's the name.